Moin und herzlich willkommen hier wieder bei The Hobbyist in der Kategorie Gaming. Dieses Mal wieder mit dem Spiel Vampire the Masquerade, Coteries of New York. Folge 9. Dieses Mal, nachdem wir diesen etwas unnetten Nosferatu kennengelernt haben, gehen wir wieder zu einem netten Nosferatu, nämlich zu D'Angelo, und sehen mal, was er herausgefunden hat oder ob es vielleicht eine neue Spur gibt. Bleibt dran. Ja, what tomorrow brings. Oh, ich könnte wieder zu Hope. Nochmal zu ihm, zu D'Angelo. Ich glaube, ich möchte nochmal zu D'Angelo. Ich finde diese Gang will eigentlich nicht in meiner Coterie haben, jedenfalls nicht in meiner Venture Coterie. It's been a while since you heard from D'Angelo. Maybe he's busy, sticking his nose where it doesn't belong. Or maybe he's pissed off the wrong people and is now rotting in a ditch somewhere. Either way, now as good a time as any to check up on him. Ja, ich glaube, das mache ich mal. You make your way through the now familiar rusty maze of the grain terminal and up the stairs to D'Angelo's office. This time, however, you find the room firmly locked. There's a note pinned to the door. You rip it off and scan through the crooked lettering. There's been another one at the scene now. Come to Bed-Stuy? Stay? Corner of Pulaski and Garvey, ASAP. Looks like D'Angelo could use your help. Better get going. As you approach the address D'Angelo gave you, a squad car passes you by, sirens blaring. Following it, you make a turn from DeKalb Ave to Pulaski Street. Sure enough, the street is awash with red light, and the 4 or so police cars parked into the nearest corner next to an ambulance confirm that you're in the right place. You move closer to what appears to be the New York's finest convention, looking around in the hope of spotting a familiar, if not altogether pleasant face. No such luck. True to his Nosferatu lineage, D'Angelo is nowhere to be seen. You stop on the sidewalk across the street, trying not to draw attention to yourself. All of a sudden, one of the cops standing by the entrance to the building looks straight at you. He gives you a double take, and you instinctively look away. Bad move. You think to yourself as you noticed him making his way towards you. Calmly wait him to approach. Start walking away. Make a run for it. Ich glaube, ich warte einfach mal, bis er da ist, weil vielleicht gibt es dann auch nochmal eine Feeding Opportunity für mich. Not allowing panic to set in, you stand your ground, doing your best ordinary citizen impression. The cop waddles across the street towards you, his sense of authority putting that extra spring in his step. You try to remain calm even as he puts his hand on his holster. Shit. You can't help but mouth the word. This is about to get messy. Suddenly he stops, as instinctively realizing he was just inches away from a grisly demise. He waves at you, dismissively, and yells in a thick Brooklyn accent. Scheiße, ich weiß nicht, wie der Brooklyn Accent geht. Hey! This here is an active crime scene. Be on your way! Relieved, but trying not to show it, you put on your grumpy New Yorker face and start to walk away. As you make your way past a dark alleyway, someone grabs you by the arm and pulls you into the shadows. If the smell of cigar and cheap cologne didn't give him away, the gravelly voice sure does.
Nice save. I mean, dumb to show your face around in the first place, but still. Come on, I'm packed around the corner.
Before you know it, you're sitting in the passenger seat of a busted old sedan, parked half a block away, giving you a nice view of the police gathering. Feeding opportunity, we can take them. Fast feeding opportunity, we can take them. We can take him, no sweat, see? There's only 2 of them. Ah, wahrscheinlich spricht gerade das Biest zu mir, oder?
That we know of. Might be more inside. I don't know, kid. I can handle risky, but it seems downright stupid.
Grow some balls. Ich bin hungrig, ne? You're probably right. Yeah, you're probably right. Better safe than sorry. Do your shadowy skulky thing. Hey, about you do your shadowy skulky thingy? Maybe you can find some way to let me in from the inside.
Shadowy skulky thingy? Jesus, kid. Childish phrasing aside, it's as good as an approach as any, I guess.
Without another word, he gets out of the car and heads for a nearby back alley. You watch in silence as he disappears into the shadows. A minute passes, then another, and another. You begin to worry. What if there were more cops inside? What if your moldy partner has gotten himself in trouble? Suddenly, a shadow silhouette appears in one of the windows on the second floor. Looks like he made it, after all. At least, you hope it's him. The shadow waves at you and points to the corner of the building, opposite the two cops. You get out of the car and quietly make your way towards the alley. Sure enough, you find that a ladder leading to a fire escape has been conveniently dropped for you. Good work, D, you mumble to yourself as you climb to the second floor. Ah, ich mag D'Angelo. Das ist ein cooler Typ. Finding the crime scene proves easy enough. You just follow the yellow police tape and before you know it, you're standing in the middle of what used to be someone's living room. The place has been completely trashed. Knocked over furniture, shattered glass, the works. Looking around, you notice a sign scribbled on a nearby wall. It reads, "His gift, our fate." You're no expert in typography, but the crooked letters look similar to the ones you saw back in Red Hook. Sure enough, there's very little terms of blood, save for the occasional stain that's bound to end up on the carpet once you toss someone through a glass coffee table. D'Angelo leans against the doorway. He seems lost in his thoughts, sucking on the cigar compulsively and mumbling to himself. You lean in a bit, trying to not make it obvious you're listening in. You manage to catch the last few lines of his monologue.
The night's been kind to them so far, but the questions keep piling on and now they've found themselves amidst the wreckage of another life.
Sorry, ich muss ein bisschen was trinken. Bei D'Angelo wird meine Stimme immer so raspy.
It was up to them to sift through the debris and come up with a neat little pile of answers.
Suddenly he tenses up, as if sensing your eyes upon him.
Feel free to chip in, kid. Anything catches your eye?
The piece of graffiti. His gift, our fate.
Yeah, there's that. What are you thinking it means?
Ich würde das ja sagen, ne? It's about Cain. Aber woher weiß sie das? Aber gut, mir wird's als Option angezeigt. Also, ja, ich nehme das mal. His gift. Isn't there a theory that Cain was the first vampire?
Oh, it's more than a theory. To some, it's a deeply held belief. And yeah, you're right. It's about the gift of Cain, as in vampirism. Our fate. Clearly, someone wasn't too happy to receive it. God damn it, I hate where this is going.
Why? It looks like you were right. Aber vielleicht meint, wenn das wirklich Thin Bloods wären. Bei Thin Bloods ist das immer so eine Sache. Wenn die so gut organisiert sind, dass sie schon wissen, dass also dass sie so tief in der Mythologie der Vampire drin stecken, dann haben wir ganz andere Probleme. Ich kann mir aber eher vorstellen, dass seine erste Annahme falsch ist. Aber ich guck mal, was which is rausbringt. Which is?
Me being right. About thin blood involvement, I mean.
Okay, das müsste er mir jetzt erklären, weil als Spieler hätte ich das jetzt nicht gedacht. Ich dachte so, diese mythologischen Sachen, gerade weil die Thin Bloods ja sehr weit unten in der Nahrungskette stehen und gar nicht mal, weiß ich nicht. Egal, lass uns mal weitergucken.
Anyway, looks like we're not getting any more out of this place. No way around it, we gotta see the body.
Oh, ey. Mann. Sorry. Aber die Angelos Voice macht mich mal echt... Is that really necessary? Are you protecting Thin Bloods? Are you protecting Thin Bloods? Warum? Sure might as well be prudent. Really? After all this? I'd say your Thin Blood theory looks pretty solid.
Look, kid, the Dustborn have shitty luck as it is. If I'm gonna accuse one of them of breaking the Masquerade, the least I can do is some goddamn due diligence. Luckily for us, I might know someone who will get us an audience with our dearly departed.
To your surprise, he pulls out a cell phone, a busted old clamshell. He flips it open and spends a good minute of browsing through the contacts, muttering to himself. Finally, he makes the call.
Hey! You know who this is? Yeah. That favor you owe me. Time to deliver. Listen. I know you got a fresh one. The murder in Bed-Stuy.
Was ist Bed-Stuy? Ist das ein Stadtteil von New York? Ich weiß es nicht.
I need to take a look. Yes, now. Yeah, you'd better.
With that, he hangs up and gives you his trademark wry smile. Aren't cell phones forbidden? Das ist eine gute Frage. Das wurde ja, glaube ich, von der Camarilla so gesagt, ne? Wait, aren't cell phones an issue for the Camarilla?
Only if I tell him. Look, kid, I don't use it willy-nilly, alright? It's for special occasions. You don't always have time to throw fucking rocks at windows. Can you live with that, or should I worry about being sent to the principal's office?
I'm not gonna rat on you. Das ist gut. Relax, D. I'm not gonna rat on you. He shoots you a smile. For some reason it seems less crooked than usual.
Good to know, kid. Anyway, looks like my guy's gonna come through. Next up, Kings County.
Kings County, the bleeding heart of Brooklyn. It's beating as hard as ever, with ambulance after ambulance, bringing in sick and wounded New Yorkers to the pumped through the tight arteries of the healthcare system. It's a dangerous place for a kindred to show their face. Innocently crowded and full of people who specialize in noticing all sorts of physical afflictions. Especially the sort that makes up the very essence of a vampire's existence. For instance, death. Thankfully, your business here tonight keeps you away from the hectic human hive of the ER, emergency room. Instead, you follow D'Angelo to a relatively quiet part of the underground parking lot that's closest to your current point of interest, the Kings County morgue. Having found yourself a convenient and suitably unlit spot near the hospital wall, you wait patiently for D'Angelo's contact to appear. Every now and then you glance over at the undead gumshoe, as if to make sure his moldy mug isn't showing any signs of worry. It doesn't, or at least, he's very good at hiding it. Finally, after 30 minutes or so, a lone figure emerges from a side entrance. As the human-shaped shadow walks by, you're quick to recognize him as the EMT you saw back at the murder site. Clearly nervous, the 20-something-year-old redhead can't seem to help but look back, making sure no one is following him. Finally, he stops and lights up a cigarette. Without even looking in your direction, he takes a puff and exclaims seemingly to no one in particular, "Room 112. You got 20 minutes." D'Angelo speaks without looking at you.
That's our cue.
You follow the vanished detective through the same door the EMT walked out of. Luckily, this wing of the hospital seems unusually empty. Still, the confidence which D'Angelo makes his way through the white and green corridors makes it clear he's been here before. Finally, he stops in front of one of the doors, room 112. That's your stop. The room is small, with only one oversized freezer by the wall and a single slab mounted in its center. Sure enough, the body of a middle-aged man is splayed out on its steel surface. Even for a dead man, he seems unnaturally pale. Extreme blood loss will do that to you. Try as you might, you can't help but look at the man's face. His features twisted in abject horror. This was not a peaceful death. Mir fällt gerade auf, ich höre im Hintergrund immer noch die Kinder von dem Jahrmarkt. Das scheint auch ein Bug zu sein. Also der gute Mann wurde überfallen scheinbar. Looking closer, you notice two small puncture wounds on the victim's neck. If ever there was a clearer sign of a vampire attack, you're yet to see it. Was auch interessant ist, weil normalerweise, wenn ein Vampir über die Wunden leckt, verschwinden diese. Das wird einem eigentlich fast als erstes erklärt. Das deutet wieder auf Thin Bloods hin, weil sie das nicht unbedingt wissen können. Oder jemand, der wollte, dass es aussieht wie Thin Bloods. Looking over to D'Angelo, you notice his lips moving in a familiar motion. He's narrating again. Before he can utter an intelligible word, you cut in with a remark. Suck dry just like the last one. Suck dry just like the last one.
Yeah, I'm guessing you noticed the teeth marks as well.
He points at two barely visible marks on the victim's neck.
Dead giveaway. Fuck.
As if on cue, the door swings open. A tired-looking man with a stethoscope around his neck walks in. With his eyes fixed on his clipboard, he doesn't appear to notice you. Yet. Oh, yeah, das brauche ich jetzt. Letting your instincts take over, you pounce on the unsuspecting doctor, plunging your fangs into his aorta. The precious liquid tastes sickeningly sweet, making you feel a bit lightheaded. It appears the good doctor has been getting high on his own supply. It takes you a moment to get your fill, but when you're finally done, you immediately feel D'Angelo's eyes upon you. You start coming up with an excuse, but he just smirks.
You're a quick kid, I'll give you that. Beat me to it by a pube. Now come on, let's get out of here.
Endlich, endlich haben wir etwas getrunken und diese Ränder sind weg. Time to pay our dear Primogen another visit. Robert Larson's home looks about the same as last time. No added security, no angry dogs prowling the yard. It appears that the thin-blood Primogen would rather risk another visit from his old pal D'Angelo than to arouse suspicion of his family and neighbors. Which is good, considering that's what he's about to get. Sure enough, the light in Larson's study is on, and you even catch a glimpse of the man himself, shuffling around the room. You look over to D'Angelo, wondering how you're going to get Larson's attention this time. Without a single word, D'Angelo walks over to a nearby street lamp and leans against it, making sure he's visible to any and all who happen to look. Looks like time for subtlety is over. It only takes a couple of minutes for Larson to take notice. You can see him lean against the window and storm out of the room. In mere seconds, he's out in front and in D'Angelo's face.
Listen to me, you moldy fuck. I've had just about enough of your shit. You wanna pester me? Fine, but leave my family out of it.
Sorry. Oh. For a moment, D'Angelo just stands there, motionless, allowing Larson to get his frustrations out. Suddenly, he grabs the thin blood by the collar, lifts him off the ground, and smashes his back against the lamppost.
Are you finished, alright? Now you listen to me and listen good. You think I'm enjoying this? You think I like to be jerked around? You think I got nothing better to do than hang around this little puppet theater you've made for yourself? Now, either you give me a lead I can follow, or I'll start remembering things you'd rather forget.
For the first time since you meet him, Larson looks speechless, his eyes wide with fear. He can only mutter under his breath.
You wouldn't dare. Try me.
Cue awkward silence. You stand there, shifting your eyes from one vampire to the other. Guess it's time to either press the advantage or play the good cop. Let's all just calm down. Wäre, glaube ich, ganz geil. Ja. Look, we're all a bit stressed out. How about we just take a deep breath, figuratively speaking.
Nah, I don't feel like it. I tried being nice, but some people don't appreciate nice. Some people will do anything to cover their asses. Isn't that right, Robert?
If you want my help, put me the fuck down. With his feet back on the ground, Larson straightens his collar in a faint attempt of preserving some shred of dignity. There's a place in Manhattan, Lower East Side. One of the few places in the city where my people can find shelter.
Yeah, I know it.
If you go there right now, you might find what you're looking for. D'Angelo stares at him for a moment, just long enough to make it uncomfortable.
We'd better.
Finally, D'Angelo loosens his grip. You both watch Larson limp back to his house. Looking back over his shoulder, like he's gonna tell the teacher on you. You look to your partner, meaning to ask what that whole things you rather forget deal was. As if sensing your curiosity, D'Angelo cuts in with a preemptive mutter.
Come on. We got what we came for.
As you reach the address Larson gave you, you find yourself standing in front of what looks like an old garage. On the outside, the place looks as uninteresting as it gets. You'd think it's abandoned, if not for the few barely working lights illuminating its shabby facade. Once you're inside, however, if ever there was a place worth of being called a wretched hive of scum and villainy, this is probably it. The room is littered with drunks and crackheads, humans and thin bloods alike, their minds lost in their cruel little worlds, their bodies splayed out across the floor. Und scheinbar scheint sich zu amüsieren, weil wir hören immer noch die Kinder im Hintergrund schreien. D'Angelo leans over and whispers to you in your ear.
I'll cover the back door. You stay near the front. Let's look around and see what we can find.
Before you can ask what exactly you're supposed to be looking for, D'Angelo disappears into the shadows. Focus. Oh ja, Auspex, ja bitte. Focusing your senses, you plunge into the full spectrum of the room, hoping to hear someone or something worth of attention. You regret it almost instantly. The room becomes a deafening echo chamber, a sea of babbling lunatics, of muttered curses and drug-induced ramblings. You're almost ready to give up when a faint whisper catches your attention. A female voice, soft, trembling. The gift. He speaks to us. The blood speaks. A few words are enough to tell you have just hit the jackpot. You follow the voice to its source. A young woman hunched in the corner of the room as you walk towards her. D'Angelo emerges from the shadows right next to you.
Nice catch!
He kneels down beside her. You can tell he's trying to sound as comforting as possible, but with this gravelly timbre, it's not really working out.
Hey, it's okay. We're not here to hurt you. Just wanna talk?
Okay. Oh, krasse Augen, ey. No, do not talk. Too loud. Too loud! She seems halfway out of it. It's like the lights are on, but whoever's inside is stumbling around after one hell of a bender.
Alright. You like quiet, got it. Can you tell me your name?
Sasana. That's what he called me. Suddenly you hear the door swing open behind you. Even though the night is fairly warm, a cold chill runs down your spine. You look towards the entrance. There's a woman standing there, and something about her just screams kindred. Even though she seems comically overdressed for the situation, somehow you don't feel like cracking a smile. Whoever she is, you can tell she means business. She starts making her way to the back of the room, not making any effort to sidestep any of the junkies and drunks. They all know well enough to get out of her way. Acting out of bravery or sheer stupidity, you walk up to her. She looks at you as if you were something she just scraped off her shoe. You smile nervously without even knowing it. Ich muss ein bisschen bossy sein als Venture, deswegen hold it, what's your business here? As soon as you open your mouth, her hand shoots out, grabbing you by the throat. The woman looks at you, tilting her head, as if examining a curious specimen of insect. Suddenly her eyes shift as she notices something behind you. Her face turns from disgusted curiosity to sheer annoyance. Holy crap. Okay. Warte mal, die sieht so ein bisschen aus wie Sophie. Aber die hätte ich ja wahrscheinlich erkannt. You.
Hey Val, that's my assistant you got there. Do you mind?
She rolls her eyes. You feel the grip on your neck loosen and awkwardly fall to your feet. She makes her way towards D'Angelo, pushing you aside like a rag doll. Valerie, okay. Where is she?
You're gonna have to be a bit more specific, darling.
Don't play coy, Ginny. The manslayer. I know she's here. A bloodhunt has begun. By order of the prince herself, the girl is to meet her final death.
Hold your horses, honey. I'm conducting an investigation under the auspices of the sheriff. That counts for something, too.
Look, sweetie, I'm not here for some clit measuring contest. It's okay. You want this to get ugly? Be my guest. Otherwise, I suggest you step aside and let me do my job.
By all means.
He steps aside in a comically exaggerated fashion. You look to the corner where you last saw Sana, but find no trace of the girl.
Well, I could swear she was just there.
Valerie looks in D'Angelo's. She smiles softly, but you can tell she's trying very hard not to rip his head off. You'll regret this.
Story of my life.
Without another word, she turns on her heel and storms out. D'Angelo waves his hand in your general direction.
Come on, kid, let's go out of this shithole.
As you emerge from the said shithole, you feel the cool night breeze caress your face. It's sounding and almost makes you forget how shitty the last few hours have been. Almost.
Okay, kid, I know you got questions, but it's getting early and I don't feel like I have an Q&A session right now. For now, you get one question. Make it count.
What do we do now? Do we know where the girl went? Who the hell is Valerie? Ich weiß es, glaube ich, schon. Das wird wahrscheinlich einer der Bluthunde des Sheriffs sein. Vielleicht. Das würde mich sehr interessieren. Do you know where the girl went? And what do we do now? Ich meine, wenn ein Bloodhound ausgerufen wird, kann er nicht viel machen. Ich frage ihn das. It's still hard to believe that girl's our killer. Do you know where she ran off to?
Not sure, but I might have some ideas. The important thing is, we know who we are looking for. Too bad Valerie knows it too.
She's a scourge,
kid. Part enforcer, part assassin. All around pain in the ass. We'll be seeing more of her, you can bet on that. And before you ask, yes, we've run into each other in the past. No, I don't feel like talking about it. Alright, kid, I don't know about you, but I'm turning in. I'll figure some stuff up. Keep looking for our girl. Feel free to swing by the office in a night or two.
And with that, he stumbles off into the distance, not even bothering to keep to the shadows. Can't say you blame him. It really has been a rough night. Oh ja, da hat er recht. Das war ziemlich cool. Ich mag diese Sache mit D'Angelo, das ist echt geil. Ich stehe sowieso so ein bisschen auf Vampir-Detective-Geschichten, das ist schon ziemlich cool, aber D'Angelo ist ein sehr geiler Charakter. Das soll es aber erstmal für heute gewesen sein und ich hoffe, ihr schaut beim nächsten Mal wieder rein. Dann schauen wir mal, was Hope uns zu sagen hat. Ich bin schon sehr gespannt, was das angeht. Und vielleicht sind dann auch die schreienden Kinder weg, die gerade noch irgendwo spielen. Bis zum nächsten Mal und tschüss.